and then I don't have to like create all of this again. That was a bit rambly, and I apologize for that. But the good news is, once I copy and paste this down here, just to test it out, instead of Tesla Z, we're going to create a new AMC class. I'm going to call it AMC, I don't know, well, sure, Z, why not? Except we're not making a Tesla, we're making an AMC. And then I want to go ahead and get the AMC info. So we're going to effectively end up with two sentences that are going to be exactly the same, because one's going to be for get info for my Tesla. Oh, I forgot to change this. Thank you. One's going to be the info for my Tesla, and one's going to be the info for my AMC. Run. And there they are. No color, no brand, no model. Hooray! Now that I've created this subclass, I did just want to touch upon field. This here. So right now, when I create a field, because I've created these fields, they can't be changed unless I create setters. That was a problem that I had mentioned earlier. Now, the homework assignment was saying, and I'm sorry, I keep scrolling, was that we needed to create subclass for Tesla and AMC. Now, one thing that I wasn't, is that on my C? Did I write that? Yeah, create two instances of Tesla and AMC with different information to tell them apart. That was one of our homework problems that we were given. Now, currently, I have an instance of a Tesla and an instance of an AMC, but it doesn't have different information even from each other. They have no color, no brand, no model. The year is the same, and the speed is, I mean, we know we can change the speed, but I can't change any of this other information. So one way to solve this problem is by creating, setters for all of these functions. But instead of typing, what is this, like 5 new functions, I can actually just use init field. So init field is something that I discovered while trying to solve all of this. What it does is that it initiates the fields, these ones, so that these are the initial values, but that they're not necessarily the full values. Now, the definition that was given on the Dr. Racket site, I couldn't tell heads or tails of it. I literally just found this by accident. Because what ended up happening is I had remembered in class we had made a connection between creating an object and creating a struct, or an instance of a struct. Where when we defined a struct, it was like a person, and then the person is going to take, a first name, and what was like a first name, then a last name, and then like a age or something. And so then when we make person or something, like I forgot what the actual code was, the only thing we typed in was like Edgar as the first name, and then it was going to type Diaz, and then like age, 900. And then that creates our person, which, later I would define Edgar as a person who has these values. So the reason that I found it by accident is because Nick actually had told me to use init field, but we couldn't figure out what init field did. So I actually ended up saving it like this by accident. And in my homework, when I had created this define Tesla Z, and then I wrote make object Tesla, I actually tried to create it like we made our structures, our structs. So I had actually written, and I'm just going to copy it because there's no need to like retype this again. Boop, 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 boop. So I just typed in the values. So make object Tesla, and then I wrote titanium white, and then I wrote Tesla Model Z 2020. Because that is the order in which my fields are in car, which is our parent class. So when I use init field, this actually auto-populates the fields for us without the need of a setter, because it's creating the object with, or rather the instance of this object. It's creating the object, which is an instance of this class, with these values in the fields. So when I actually run this top sentence is going to change with these values. And there it is. Color is titanium white. The brand is Tesla. The model is Model Z. The year is 2020. And of course, our current speed is still 0 because we haven't done any accelerate, decelerate any business. So that's actually why I wanted to add this little blurb, because it happened by accident. If you use init field, that allows your fields to be able to be changed when you use the function make object. You're able to make an object with the values. Now, this is also a good point where current speed here, we're never going to create a car, at least not with this, that, is the moment you make it is going 10 miles an hour, right? So you can actually use init field, because those are going to be your fields that you can give and change every time you create a new object. And then you can still use field if you wanted to with something like current speed, because this one is never going to change. And we actually wouldn't want to give it like the value of 50 or something. Like, I'm not going to make a car and it's going to be going 40 miles an hour. It's not a thing. So then you can then set up your own fields, like regular fields, that can only be changed with setters. So that's this field. That's kind of what field is for. And then init field is going to be for fields that you can rather change the value or set the value when you make an object. Where I scroll past it here. Make object Tesla, and then I give it all these values, which will then auto-populate. And then what ends up happening is and then this is the cool thing about, of course, classes and subclasses, all the change that you just saw me do with field and init field and all of that business was in the class car, which is our parent class. That actually means that without touching this code, the AMC class now has new features. I can actually just make object AMC, and then, let me call it AMC K, because I'm going to copy and paste. So AMC K now is going to have red solo cup red as its color, AMC as the model. I'm sorry, as the brand. Model is K, and the year's 1979. So when I run, now both of our sentences are going to reflect the information that we gave it when we created these objects. I personally feel that this helps me a lot in making objects and understanding classes and subclasses and all that business. What I did, of course, after that, showed difference between filled and oh, that was for me. That's where I wrote that. Great. Then after that, what we do want to do is test that the objects work with their new functions, in which case then I have those right here, which is just going to be send Tesla T, set current speed to 10, send Tesla T. Why is this Tesla T? This should be Z. I had made 2 instances. So anyways, so now what I was doing is I had run into the problem at this point in the code where when a lot of this worked, but then my getters and my setters were not working. The reason was because when I was writing all of this code, and actually this code over here, I wasn't using my setters and my getters. I kept using my fields alone. So it actually broke all of it. So what ended up happening is my brake, full brake, accelerate, set current speed, that business was not working. But since we typed it in the correct way, when I hit run here, it's actually just going to return all of this business. Actually, it's going to return nothing because there's no getter for my speed. So I'm going to type send Tesla Z, and that's going to be get current speed And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that 3 times. Here. Here. So this get current speed should give us 10, because we set it to 10 for funsies, just to make sure that our setter works. This full acceleration should give us 110, because Tesla goes at 110 max speed. So that should return 110. Brake, it should expect to, I expect that to give me a 0, so then that's going to get me 0. I'm sorry, this is -7, so then that's going to be 110 minus 7. This should return 103, and a full brake should give me 0. So I should see all those numbers right down here. And there they are. Hey, that's supposed to return 103. I wonder what happened. Tesla Z brake from 110. So something happened. See, this is why we test. So when I brake, first, if the current speed is greater than or equal to 7, set it to 0. Ah, there is the issue. If my current speed is greater than 7, then it's going to return 0. That's not right. It has to be the other way. If my current speed is equal to or less than 7. So, haha, this is why we test. So now, that third number here should change to 103 when I hit run again, now that I've fixed the code. Yay! So now that's done. I mean, I could effectively do the same thing over here with my setters and getter. Well, you might as well. With AMCK. I mean, I'm not going to do it. But what ends up happening is I'm going to find that the same error is there because, of course, I copied and pasted that code. So I just need to make sure that that's also the case. If my current speed is less than 1. Great. Okay. So the next part of the homework was going to be the GUI. This video is literally an hour long right now. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, upload it to YouTube, and hopefully it gets to the class. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me here. Sorry if it was a little rambly. Hopefully this helped you understand a little bit more on classes and subclasses in Dr. Racket. Bye.